In today's story, a disillusioned woman divorces her husband of 17 years and goes on to increase her body count, only to end up regretting her choices. My name is Ronald, and I'm 51 years old. My ex-wife, Kathy, is 47. We have 2 sons. One is 18 and the other is 19. I work at a consulting firm where we help with financial investments. I make good money, but I have to work hard for it. Let me tell you about my ex-wife. She's beautiful and was a wonderful wife for 17 years. She took care of our kids, planned our holidays, and was the star at family gatherings. I've always tried to be a good provider for my family because as a husband, I believe that's my responsibility. I've spent many hours in the office and traveled thousands of miles to make sure my family has the best and can enjoy a great life. My wife was beautiful, and she took good care of her appearance. She worked out regularly, and I supported her by paying for her breast implants and some facial procedures, including regular Botox shots. As beautiful as she is, my wife isn't very skilled in areas that don't relate to her strengths, like car repairs, household tasks, and financial matters. She excelled in finding the best dresses and where to get them, which made her happy. There were occasions when she became frustrated and irritable if things didn't go her way. But one thing is certain, she loves our kids deeply. After our 16th wedding anniversary, things didn't go very smoothly. The COVID-19 pandemic had a major impact on the global economy. My income decreased, and when income goes down, spending logically should too. But my wife had a different perspective. She was unhappy because she couldn't go shopping for new clothes or meet her friends during the pandemic. Once the pandemic was over, she returned to her usual habits, but her attitude seemed a bit changed. I knew I had to work hard to get things back on track, so some aspects of our home life had to take a back seat. My wife started using TikTok to pass the time at home, and surprisingly, she gained a significant fan following on the platform. Over time, my wife grew more distant from me. I tried to spend time with her, but she preferred making TikTok videos and sharing updates about her day. I watched her videos occasionally and I started to have concerns. Her videos became darker in tone, discussing freedom and women's oppression. In one video, she praised Mia Khalifa for her ability to collect wedding rings and keep Tom Brady on his toes, which raised more worries for me. I had a conversation with Kathy that I'll never forget. She asked for a divorce, and I was shocked. It felt like all those years of love and togetherness were falling apart. I asked her why she wanted a divorce, and she said she didn't feel loved and thought we shouldn't be together because we were incompatible. She mentioned that she didn't think we looked good as a couple anymore. I realized I hadn't had time to work out due to my demanding job, and I'm not particularly athletic. Over time, I had gained some weight. I never saw my wife as a trophy to be paraded, and I never imagined I'd be discarded just because I didn't look good next to her after 17 years of marriage. I cried all night and felt lost about what to do. I offered to get in better shape, but she declined and said that she needed to feel loved and wanted to explore the world. I warned her that she had never tried to do things on her own in years and that she might face challenges she wasn't prepared for. I told her that she should reconsider and understand that. At the age of 47, the world outside the security of her home could be tough. Kathy didn't change her decision. I called my sons and told them about their mother's decision. They were also shocked and expressed their concerns for her well-being. We're worried because there have been several incidents where Kathy tried to do things on her own. For example, she once filled the car with vegetable oil instead of engine oil, cost me $1,000 to get fixed. So you can see why we're so concerned about her. I tried my best to change Kathy's mind, but she had set her heart on the path to freedom and love. The thought of checking if she was cheating on me did cross my mind, but I chose not to investigate further because I knew it would only increase my pain. I sat down with my lawyer and asked them to prepare the divorce papers. Kathy and I never had a joint account. So most of my money was in a trust for my son's education and potential business ventures. I didn't have a substantial amount of money in my personal account. I paid Kathy a significant sum by selling our home, and she was fine with it. I've reached a point where I've decided not to waste any more time with Kathy. I've come to understand that my intense desire to make her happy may have played a role in her decision to leave, and I'm ready to focus on the next chapter of my life. Kathy and I got divorced. The day we met at the court, I asked her one last time if she understood the consequences of her actions. She replied that she was there for her freedom and would soon be soaring high in the sky. After our divorce, Kathy moved to a new apartment that she leased while I continued with my life and eventually bought a small apartment. A few days later, one of my colleagues, Maria, asked me out for dinner, and I agreed. Over the next few weeks, we started dating. Maria was an intelligent and good-looking woman. Meanwhile, Kathy continued with her video content. One day, I stumbled upon a video where Kathy was explaining why she got divorced. She mentioned that she didn't feel loved, and after 17 years of marriage, she wanted to explore and find love. Many of her followers cheered and left approving comments. When I checked these followers, I noticed that most of them were middle-aged women. It seems that like-minded people tend to come together. I had a feeling that Kathy would soon come to understand what it means to be single, and I didn't have to wait long for it to happen. In one of her videos, she expressed her concerns about managing daily tasks like taking out the garbage, changing a light bulb, and ensuring her car was serviced on time. In her next video, she explained that she was now looking for a date and even shared her Tinder profile and asked people to right swipe her. She mentioned that she would choose who would be lucky enough to date her. I was disgusted and didn't expect her to go to such lengths. A week later, there was another video where she was explaining why her new boyfriend is now her ex-boyfriend. She explained that her ex-boyfriend was interested in only getting in her pants. She was giggling, and it seems that even though she got pumped and dumped, she did not find that disgusting. The very thought that the mother of my kids is now being pumped by Tinder Simpson. In just a few days, she returned with another video stating that men were only interested in one-night stands with her. She also laughed about her experiences with 2 or 3 night stands. It seemed like her standards were falling rapidly, akin to the fall of Enron stocks. On the other hand, my relationship with Maria was going strong. We planned a trip for Memorial Day with my 2 sons and went out as a family. I didn't inform Kath because I felt that she no longer deserved to be with us. My sons posted some of our pictures together on Instagram and Kathy saw them. It seemed she didn't like what she saw. Her comment on the pictures saying, "I gave birth to you." And always remember that didn't sit well with her kids. My younger son disliked her comments and removed them. A day later, she went on a rant on TikTok, expressing how she didn't feel loved and how she hadn't been given the opportunity to work outside her home. She even mentioned that she felt like a prisoner in her own home and how she felt oppressed after her kids were born, having to take care of them full-time. She continued by saying how I had accumulated a lot of money and hadn't shared it with her. She mentioned that she felt nearly broke and believed she had been betrayed in the divorce. She cried and talked about spending Memorial Day alone watching other people with their families. I guess Chad and Tyrone were busy with their families and left Kathy alone. Yes. I made a lot of money, and I worked hard for it. I earned that money for the sake of my kids and my ex-wife. Kathy chose to leave behind a life of luxury and paid the price even though she had been warned about the consequences. In her next video, I saw that she had a black eye. She said that she was assaulted because her Tinder date was not well behaved. This happened at a bar when he got drunk angry after she asked him to drink less. The police arrested her Tinder date. She said she'd stop online dating and only date people she meets at local shopping centers, hoping to find gentlemen who would ask her out. I have doubts about gentlemen approaching a 47-year-old woman for a date, but since would surely approach her only for a pump and dump session. I've proposed to Maria, and we are getting married. My sons approve and are happy for me. I've kept Kathy unaware of it because I didn't want to interact with her. Now she's nothing more than a cheap source of entertainment for me. A few days later, I saw Kathy dance on TikTok in her undergarments, and I guess a lot of people had a treat. A day later, one of my colleagues asked me if my ex-wife okay and if she has any mental issues. I got angry and told him to connect with Kathy. I did not understand why is he asking me that. I had missed a video from Kathy where she was crying and saying she wished that she had stayed in her marriage and no one divorced me. She said that she misses her gentleman, husband, and her dear sons. She added that after getting divorced she has not got any love and man only were with her for cheap thrills and one-night stands. There was no love and she is now miserable. She is thinking about returning to her home with her family. She knows that her husband will surely forgive her and take her back. Well, Kathy, that boat has sailed and now has new sailors. You made your bed outside the safety of your home, now better sleep in it. I warned you. I reminded you and pleaded with you, but you were adamant and hell-bent on searching for your so-called love and freedom. Your dissolution made you crazy. Your so-called followers made you feel like you made a great choice. When you were gone, I got a great partner and found real love. You, on the other hand, were just adding to your body count. All the best, and I hope you don't even dream of coming back to me. I am an investment expert, not a junkyard dog. I got married in a private ceremony with only my sons and some very close family members and friends. Kathy somehow got to know about my marriage and barged into the middle of my marriage, and it was almost a mayhem. She started screaming and was almost about to destroy the wedding cake. She was stopped by my sons and they escorted her out of the venue. She waited outside the venue and when I came out, she started hurling abuses that I deceived her and abandoned her. She blamed me for her misery and broke down crying. She got up again and was about to throw a stone on Maria when my younger son caught her hand and stopped her. My elder son called the cops and she was arrested. I almost burst out laughing when I overheard someone talking about Kathy's actions at my marriage and described her as a level 47 Karen. We later got a restraining order against her, and I hope that will keep her away from us. It has been 6 months, and I am on a vacation with Maria in Paris. Life is good. Oh, yes. I still Kathy on TikTok, and I still enjoy her crazy rants. Dear listener, if you have reached this far, please click on the subscribe button. It will be a great help.